Hello, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to be here, and I'm glad that you are here as well. What a great format this is, that we can sort of all glean knowledge from all of the speakers that have been on here previously and after me. And again, I thank you for being here. And I would like to let you know first that I won't be able to see your comments, but if you do have comments, please do put them down and I will certainly respond to them after my presentation. I will definitely reach out. And again, thank you for being here. I'm just going to switch over so that I can work my slides from a better position as we go through. So I am a great believer in shadow work. It has literally transformed my life, and I would like to help it transform yours. So thank you for being present to hear my story, although it isn't really actually honestly my story. For those who have suffered and are still suffering from trauma and abuse, my story is your story. Yes, the characters and the situations are different, but the outcome is exactly the same. The result is we feel utterly worthless, unloved, and unlovable. What I'm here to show you is there is hope. There is a way out of the dark. I truly hope you leave here today knowing that you have a choice to move out of the shadows. Let's talk about shadow work. These two quotes, I think, sort of sum it up perfectly. Shadow work is the path of the heart warrior, which is absolutely true. And one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the dark conscious. It is delving into the parts of you that you keep hidden, the rooms within ourselves we fear to visit. We keep those doors locked and secured. The rooms that hold your shame, your pain, envy, our anger, our hate, our sexuality, our jealousy. But opening these doors and sitting in those rooms is essential to your overall healing. Looking at the root cause and feeling the feels is critical. Because we are made up of both light and dark, we need to bring those two halves together to be wholly and authentically ourselves. We have been lied to by our abusers to keep us in the dark and under control. We have been programmed to respond and think a certain way, to be manipulated. These are some of the lies that we've been told. Have you heard these? You're worthless. No one will ever love you. No one will ever believe you. Why are you so stupid? Shut up or I'll give you something to cry for. You aren't pretty, you're just fat. Why do you lie all the time? You're so gullible. You believe everything you are told. Shut up. I can't stand listening to you. And you are nothing and will always be nothing. If you've been told some lies, type them in the chat if you feel confident to do so. There are so many ways that our manipulators keep us in control. These are on repeat with our abusers. And we begin to believe them as true, and they become our truth. What are some of the rooms in your mind? The pain is real, and we experience it all the time. It becomes the way we live in a perpetual state of suffering. The shame, the needing to pretend everything is okay. No one can know how truly horrible I am. Helplessness. No one can help me. No one will believe me. I am completely alone. Self-loathing. I'm worthless and useless and shouldn't be here. Risky behavior. I have no boundaries and put myself into very scary situations for love and attention. Addiction. Anything to avoid the pain. Abusive relationships. This is familiar and all I deserve. Self-isolation, staying away from others in case they find out what a monster I am. The pain is real. We experience it all the time. It becomes the way we live in a perpetual state of suffering. As I said, we talk about panic attacks, but trauma survivors often have what I call doom attacks. abrupt surges of crushing certainty that the absolute worst case scenario will absolutely happen, and we are powerless to stop it. My name is Rowan. Sounds obvious, but it hasn't always been my name. The name I had previously signifies my other life, that I am no longer that person. In March 2018, I changed my name to show the significance of cutting the final cord and letting go of my old life. I have a younger brother. We are adopted, not biologically related, and we haven't spoken since 2018. My parents didn't really want children. We were adopted because they believed once you're married, the next step was children. Both were abusive, alcoholic narcissists, both broken and incredibly damaged. They lived to hate each other, and my mother lived to hate me. She poured all the hate and bitterness she had for my father onto me. She took every opportunity to let me know what a complete failure and utter disappointment I was. You're not pretty, you're just fat, was one of her favorites. Many, many others. My father drank outside the house and came home almost every night, so drunk he could barely walk. He had his license taken away twice, didn't stop him. He could barely speak when he got home. If he could, he would yell at me. What's 9 times 3? What is the capital of Canada? I was so terrified that I always answered wrong, and he leveled his insults at me. I always knew you were stupid, he'd say. No wonder you are a failure in school. I moved to Toronto in 2001, trying to run away from the shadows, but they always find you. After a complete breakdown in 2003, I began therapy and attending adult children of alcoholics. My life changed, but the memories began to surface. I was 7 when my mother's colleague sexually molested me. We were at their house, and he did this in a bedroom where I was watching TV. Everyone was in the living room, and I remember being terrified, and I couldn't understand what he was doing. What was worse, I knew I couldn't tell my parents because they wouldn't believe me. They always said I told lies and exaggerated everything. So I kept it a secret and suppressed the memory. Through therapy, I began to take my power back and understand none of this was my fault. Slowly, my light grew stronger, and I had coping skills. The car accident happened in 2005 on my way to a conference. It was raining, and a car on the other side of the road lost control and began spinning towards me. I remember hearing a voice in my left ear. Turn the car to the right and you will be fine. I turned the steering wheel to the right, and I remember hearing a big explosion as all the airbags deployed, then silence. Then the screaming started. My passenger, who I picked up that morning, was injured. There was a lot of blood. Not mine. I actually walked away with just a swollen hand. As I stood at the side of the road with all the emergency vehicles, the firemen, the policemen, and the paramedics telling me if I had not turned the car, the accident would have been so much worse. We would have been dead. This was my turning point. Everything came at me all at once. It was like being struck by lightning. I had been saved for a reason. Worthless as I was saved by an angel. It was like being hit by lightning. In that moment, I became fully awake. I needed to make a move. I wasn't going to waste this divine opportunity. I quit my job and moved back to Calgary in 2006. And the second half of my life began. After years of trying to hold on to and mend the toxic relationship with my family, only to be met with resistance every time, in 2008, I decided to stop speaking to my parents. Because of this, my brother stopped speaking to me. Time to set a boundary and honor myself for the first time ever. For me, it was the only way and the first step in recognizing my true worth. And there was going to be consequences. Taking back my power was going to cost me. I wasn't sure what that would be, but I sure found out in February 2018 when my mother died. I had no idea until an old friend of the family told me in September of that year. I looked up the obituary, and yes, it was true. However, I was not mentioned at all in the obituary, not a word. It was as though I had been wiped off the face of the earth. At first, I felt rejected, and then again, I chose to end the relationship. They were angry, bitter people, and made sense that they would continue to hurt me even after death. My father died the following March. Again, no mention of me. I found myself feeling sorry for them. I had spent my life trying to be something I never could be for them. I realized their brokenness did not have to be mine, and I would not allow them to have power and control over me, not anymore. I found a way to forgive myself and them, and in doing so, I set myself free. I had been told many times that my story would be the light in the dark for others, and I'd spent my entire life trying to run away and forget what happened to me, and Spirit kept bringing me back. And here I am. After dragging myself out of a dark hole, I now stand in my full light, knowing I am powerful, beautiful, intelligent, and so worthy. I now have embraced the gifts I had as a child of intuition and clairvoyance. As I moved through the last 23 years of spiritual awakening, I was able to honor my shadows, my pain, and I have learned to love all parts of me. In 2014, I became a Usui Reiki Master teacher, and my journey has not stopped. I am now a SoulCare Coach and specialize in the Akashic Records. I allow my experiences to be a true light for others. The earth angels who have come into my life and have shown me that I too am an earth angel with the ability to bring light and heal the shadows. I am honored to have been through this experience and grateful my struggle can now be a light to others. I want to tell you some secrets that I learned along the way. So secret number 1 is your truth and your trust matter. What is intuition? Well, it's the ability to understand or know something immediately based on your feelings rather than facts. This is your gut instinct. Your truth is all that matters. It does not matter what others say or do. You know your own truth based on your experiences and inner knowing. And you must rely on this as you are healing. Learning to trust yourself and what you are experiencing is difficult, but it's critical. Relearning that our reality is true. I cannot tell you how many times I was told that what I heard, saw, felt was not real. I learned not to trust myself. Easier to control somebody who doesn't trust themselves. Know what is happening to you and what you are experiencing is real. My therapist told me that children of these types of environments have years go missing in their memory. People say, oh, when I was 5, this happened, or I remember when I was 10, etc. I have no recollection of when things happened, and large blocks of time have gone missing for me. There are still times when I look back and wonder what I know happened really took place, but I always go back to, I believe me. How to trust yourself and how to become authentically you. This is my formula for breaking the programming. The formula is simple. The work is involved is not. This is for you knowing that what is real and trusting what you experience was in fact what actually happened. I is for your imagination and your intuition. We use intuition to confirm we are actually witnessing reality. We don't trust our brains and our eyes. You just need to remember a time when your intention was right, or your intuition was right. Your gut called it. We use our imagination to manifest the outcomes that we want to bring about. Imagination is huge and powerful. Seek and find. Seek the knowledge of others' experiences and use their stories to empower your healing. Find the people and the resources who will work with you on this journey. E is for evaluate and embrace. Evaluate past situations and understand that what happened, and learn how to step back and evaluate present day situations, triggers from an observer frame of mind. Finally, learn to embrace who you are at this moment. There is no such thing as perfect, and there is no judgment. Secret number 2. Forgiveness is the path to freedom. This causes a lot of feelings, and I will say it took me years, and I do mean years, to get there. I first want to say that forgiveness is for us and not for the perpetrator of our abuse. We will always remember what they did to us, but hanging on to the rage and hurt is not helping us. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Understanding why someone behaves the way they do allows for forgiveness when they have mistreated you. Maybe they're insecure or in pain, or maybe they've suffered some type of abuse in their lifetime. And you can see why they are the way they are. But when your compassion extends to excusing them for treating you poorly over and over, it not only damages your self-worth, but prevents you from healing as well. I know you heard this and you're thinking, bullshit. What happened to them does not give them permission to do the same and worse to me. You're right. Where I found my forgiveness was in the fact that they were unable to understand their own brokenness. They did not have the courage to look inside themselves and fix it, but you do. You have the courage. Forgiveness is really hard, and it took me years to come to a point where I could forgive them and myself. Things I wish I knew before. Trust your own truth. Forgiveness is freedom. Healing is messy, but you're responsible for it. Give yourself grace. This is a journey, and not every day will be a good one. And you have the right to your feelings. Hindsight is 20/20. These 4 things are so simple, but it took me years to understand them. Trust your truth. Deep down, you know something is off. Trust that feeling. Find someone who you can trust to talk to, and know that your truth is real. Forgive yourself. None of this is your fault. What happened or is still happening is not about you. You are wholly innocent. Healing is really, really messy. It requires more of you than you have ever had to endure. This is the way out of the dark. Grace. Such a magical word which I use often. For me, it encapsulates honoring who you are and where you are. Being present and in touch with you. With grace, there is no rush, no pressure, only love. Everything will happen in its own time. You do not have to rush anything. Allow. As children of abuse, addiction, control allows us to feel safe in an unsafe environment. Life is going to unfold the way it should, no matter how hard you try to control or worry about it. Control is not real. Truth is. We are more powerful when we give up control and trust ourselves and our path. The universe is looking out for you. This is secret number 3. You are not responsible for what happened to you whatsoever, but you are 100% responsible for your healing. Always remember, you have a choice. You have the power of free will. You get to decide how something goes. You can pull yourself out of the darkness, and I am here as proof. You can choose a different path, a different outcome. You do not have to settle for crumbs. when you can have the entire cake. The only thing stopping you is you. These terrible things happen to us, yes, but staying in the dark, we are allowing them to happen over and over. Life is happening for you in order to bring you out of the dark, to show you can make a different choice and make a difference. Your experience will help someone else see you taking back your power. I sure didn't want my trauma and abuse to be the experience I built my soul calling on. I fought it and ran from it for years, but it kept coming back to me, and in so many different ways. Imagine having such a sense of personal power that your light attracts all that you desire, and you are not held hostage by your experience. Take a moment to imagine that. Those who lack personal power have the need to have power over others. Those who have personal power have no need to control others. None. There is a light in all of us. It might be as small as a grain of sand, but it's there. Burning bright like an ember, waiting. We are all deserving of the light. In the eyes of the universe, we are all deserving and worthy. The light is not reserved for some and not others. That is a lie. When you understand your personal power, the game changes. You become an observer and allow yourself to step into your purpose without fear. You learn your truth, and it becomes an unwavering measure of absolutely everything. Those who lack personal power use their light or the light to weaponize your fear and use it as a control mechanism against you. I want you to remember some things. I want you to know that you are a light in this world and we need you. You are worthy, you are enough, and you are loved. And I see you, I hear you, and I believe you. You are not alone. Know that the universe loves you unconditionally. It sees you crying out for help. There is not one thing you are going through where you are alone. Your angels are always with you. They never leave your side. They want you to know that you are so very special and that they see you. Your purpose is to be a light for others. Perhaps right now you don't feel like much of a light, or you are hesitant to take the next step. Let me get you started on your journey to yourself. I have a special gift for you. This is a complimentary 20-minute reading of your Akashic Records, your soul's library. Believe that there's a link that's going to be putting on across the screen where you could reach me. That'll also be put into the chat. I also want you to know you can reach out to me on my cell at 403-473-4679. And you can text me that you are ready for the light, and I will email you a link. In order for you to be able to come and get a free reading from me and know that you are not alone. I would love to help you, and I am here to support you. So please feel free to reach out, and we'll get something scheduled in the calendar. And in the meantime, I want you to be well, and I send you many, many blessings and love. And I so appreciate you being here and taking the time to be with me for this short half an hour. And again, any questions that you have for me, please put them in the comments and I will reach out afterwards. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate you.